It's your boy Superman 2000 back in the fight chair. All right, so a couple people said I'm being unfair to Conor McGregor. I should go back and watch the fight over again. All right, fear is fear. I did. I went back, watched the fight over again. This time I didn't watch any of the promotional stuff. Watch the fight round by round and take by take. And then now, those of you who don't believe me that Mayweather used the rope a dope on Conor McGregor. And you guys see with me, I got a talk and pause because of my braces. To the teeth that came out, the gap is almost filled. But damn. There's a wire back here that moves every time my teeth move, and then the wire comes out, and it's trapped in something, and it keeps pulling the teeth that way. I go into the dentist, then he'll tighten this up, and then he'll grind the wire that's sticking out down. But right now the wire is sticking that way, and I have an appointment coming up to where dentist is gonna adjust it next week. All right. So here we go now. So if I talk and I pause, I have something in my mouth, is because the teeth are moving, and it's happening kind of fast. So I'm still get time to get adjusted. So here we go. So you clearly see that from the numbers, Conor McGregor landed more punches than Pacquiao, who's an excellent fighter. But let's not forget that Pacquiao had a torn rotator cuff when he fought Mayweather, and that the Mayweather camp had agreed that he'd be able to get a cortisone shot before the fight started, so he could be able to perform properly. However, Mayweather camp changed their mind. They didn't allow him to get the cortisone shot, so he had to box with the torn rotator cuff, and that's why there was talk of a class action lawsuit for everybody who bet on the fight. But there was no class action lawsuit against Pacquiao or the Mayweather Money Team promotion, because the torn rotator cuff issue was disclosed to the Boxing Commission. So that's okay. So there you go. Now, here we go. So basically, the numbers tell you, and I'm taking out the Pacquiao, the line more punches than Pacquiao thing because of the torn rotator cuff. But McGregor came in the middle of two of Mayweather's top fights in terms of punches landed. So I'm like, okay, I can see that. But if you throw more punches than a real professional, throw and land more punches than a real professional against somebody who's typically defensive, you're throwing and landing more punches than somebody who does boxing full time. Okay? And then by the ninth round, you're completely exhausted. Statistically, you've outpunched Mayweather. Okay? If it was by the numbers only, then I would have scored for McGregor first 4 rounds, then McGregor 2 rounds after that. No, sorry, Floyd 1, then McGregor 2. Okay? If it was just by the numbers. If it was a 10 round fight. No, if it was even an 8 round fight, McGregor would have won it, hands down. But that's the definition of the rope a dope. That a fighter who's normally defensive, who's a professional, he's gonna let you hit him. He's gonna stand there. He's gonna let you open up your game. He's gonna let you do everything that you're supposed to do to the extent of your skills. And then once he makes an assessment of, okay, let's assess what this person is able to do. Once the assessment is done, then he starts fine tuning and adjusting his game plan and adapting to how you strike and how you fight, overcome, and then afterwards continue whatever his game plan is and knock you out. Now, McGregor punch. He burnt himself out. and Floyd KO'd him. He was gone. If he had gotten hit again, he would have been brain damage. No, I know that in UFC you want to get knocked out, you have to go out with your eyes open. You gotta go before it's always a fight to death. But he was completely out of it. And after that, after being exhausted and taking sustained blows to the head, I mean that type of damage would have just been too much. So I respect the ref for saving him. So I did a fair, objective review, and it's the rope a dope. That's all it came down to, folks. Not taking nothing from Connor's effort, but his boxing IQ isn't there, and that's not his fault. Like I said before, athleticism does not translate to skill in a sport. If we did, CM Punk would be just sliding up the skills in the UFC right now. So just because Conor has athleticism and he can punch doesn't mean he's gonna go to boxing and do the same thing. Because boxing is a different sport. It's like fighting in a phone booth, and you have to have your foot working, and you have to be on the ball of your foot, and your hip, and your torso, and your angles that you're striking have to be positioned right for you to generate the kind of knockout power you need. The jab alone, even when GSP used the jab, okay, I'm gonna give you one. When GSP used a jab against Josh Koscheck, what did he do? He went to a hip specialist, a professional boxer who will teach people to generate powers directly from the hip, and he worked on his form properly. And then when he came back in Josh Koscheck, he didn't just throw the jab, because you notice that when McGregor throws the jab, he steps back quickly. So when you throw the jab and you step back quickly, you're losing power. When you throw the jab, then put yourself into it, and then back up afterwards when it's went home and done the damage. Now I've seen footage of Floyd walking up on Mayweather punching him, and Floyd just keep going, keep going, keep going, because that's his whole goal. Now back what I'm saying. When GSP used the jab against Josh Koscheck, you saw that he went to a specialist. He was trained, and he generated so much power that he broke Josh Koscheck's nose, fractured the orbital bone. Really, I mean, just did him up real bad. And all it was the jab, but the jab was thrown properly. So it's because Conor McGregor was athletic and he's able to do stuff in the UFC where he can generate power off the ball of his foot and not being walked down, I mean, backed up on his heels, where it's harder for him, you know. Because what happened is that, no, and I'm not taking nothing from him, but in terms of boxing, his tools are limited. He's more one dimensional, but because he's used to using his elbows, his arms, his legs, his complete body as a machine, one unit, and now he's only using one component of his game. He's just a disadvantage because the other person has spent more time working on that one component. So all in all, he got the rope a dope, and I'm sorry if I'm not one of those people who's high on the moral victory stuff. A loss is a loss. Okay, you could say it's like that. It's like let me give you one example. I'll even give you an example. It's like Pat Barry versus Czech Congo. You could almost be winning, but you know, it's because of a misjudgment or a misstep you lose. A loss is a loss. It's like somebody was visiting one of my kids this weekend, and the other kid was upset because my kid wouldn't let him win. And the kid came and complained to me, and I called my kid and I was like, could you just even though you don't let him win, could you teach him why he's doing wrong so he can advance? And then afterwards, my kid was walking with the other kid and look at the kid and say, "Hey, listen, in this house we earn all our victories. You don't get nothing around here." And I was like, "Yeah, that's definitely not from me because I'm a spoiler. That's from my wife. She's the she's good at this type of stuff." So I gotta listen to her more. All right, guys, that's my 2 cents on the fight here. But the point I'm making is, yes, Connor did well, but give Mayweather some credit. And I understand that because Mayweather is made $1 billion and he's now officially out of the game. He doesn't care, so he's done. But no, that Connor is still in the game. The media and the sport conglomerate everybody who has a dog in the fight, they have to try and give Conor McGregor a moral win or prop him up or give him good reviews so that when he goes into his next fight against Diaz, who's a very slow starter, and he has improved boxing skills, and that will give him time to get his boxing game together and his MMA legs combined, so he can now start get used to being back in the UFC. That would be the warm up before he goes and defend his title. I understand that. So the media has to hype him up and say, "Oh, he did great, he did good, he did wonderful." And hey, Mayweather came in the arena wearing a mask, but now I see why he was wearing a mask. He finessed everybody. All right, guys. That's my 2 cents from the fight. Oh, my camera's falling down. My 2 cents from the fight cheer. Dana White, bring McGregor back. Let's get the MMA rolling again. It's time to make the division move in. All right, guys. Peace out.